What's up, music fans? My name's Jackson. Today I'm going to react to King's Disease 2 by the man Nas. So my Illmatic video released about 2.5 weeks ago, but I reacted to that about a month and a half ago, and I tell you what, that album has just gotten more and more legendary to my ears every time I've listened to it. Do I think it's the greatest album of all time? No, I still don't. I still think a lot of other albums I've heard are better than it for a couple of reasons. But you know what? I think that in terms of influence, in terms of these sounds and the ways that it was crafted, is structured, Illmatic is about as great as it gets, man. And I think that for Nas, the fact that he wrote it when he was so young makes it even cooler and more inspirational for young MCs that grew up seeing that, and they were like, well, why do I think that just because I'm young I can't be that guy? And that to me is the heart and soul of hip-hop. These guys who make something out of nothing, just sharing their perspective. And that's why it's so interesting for someone like me to listen to hip-hop, because I can't relate to a lot of what they're saying, but I can appreciate it and I can really understand their lives and gain a whole new perspective just myself listening to their lyrics and how they string words together. And it just really lifts my soul up to hear that, because I don't know people personally like this. I might never, and I think that it's important for all of us to have diversity in our lives and to really put ourselves in another person's shoes and think, okay, this person's different from me. Why is that? What makes them tick? What did they grow up around? What's their perspective? What's their reference point? That's what it is. What is that rapper or hip-hop artist's reference point? Because it's always different from yours. So Nas gave me a really different perspective because he took this whole street rap idea and interpolated it in a way that I've never heard before, and I think that's another reason why Illmatic has been so replayable for me. But I also love how in-your-face the themes are. He doesn't do anything subtly, and a lot of times I would criticize an artist for that, but in the case of Nas, it just works so well. So I actually didn't know that this released. I was gone doing something else while this came out, and I'm a little bit late to the party, but you know what? I'm so excited to do a Nas album, I might as well just do the newest one. So hey man, King's Disease 2, the first track is going to be, I think it's called The Pressure, and I've been anticipating this ever since I saw it, so let's go. Modern beat, but it's really good.
The pressure where your tongue is getting too heavy. Had to inspire them again like I didn't already. Real ones still around, release the confetti. Godson across the belly. Godson across the belly. The world on my shoulders is getting too heavy. I've been this pressure, the problems ain't even get sweaty. I've been on 4 generations. It's Nas till I'm gone. Give my all, give them more. Colors up in the tongue, pastel rugs on the floor. Meal prep me.
What is this new beat?
Out on the terrace, glass of Petrus with a bestie. Drunk Texan.
Yo. If this is good, the whole album's gonna be like, we are in for it. So the flow was fairly, slowly paced for Nas, but that's okay because his rhymes were so articulate and just so crazy. I love the different kind of bars he threw in here. A lot of them were so creative. Dead presidents, that stuff come when you dedicated. I invest in education because we wasn't privy. We got busy, put scholarship programs throughout the city. And then this incredible beat change, it was so subtle, I really liked it. It's right after he says, let's see, besides my kids, boundaries are my greatest creation. I've been on fire 4 generations. That's tight because he's talking trash, he's hyping himself up, he's doing what rappers do, but he's doing it in a clever way. And that is always what I look for when a rapper uses this subject matter, and Nas is prime example of it. I love how this beat goes from like percussion-y to a bit more brisk and kind of like chink chink in the second half of the song. And again, the subtlety of the beat change is really what makes me think this project is going to be a lot more meticulous than I anticipated.
Hey, hold up, come on, whoa. Right back at this. Right back, hold up, whoa. Bitch, I'm a hard hitter. Rolex clocks and killers holding the order. I'm praying God delivers. I had runners with Suge, niggas would have been shook. At the height of the beef, they started death from East. Rest in peace, Ill Will. Let's talk about it. We the smartest, not the loudest, came about the project houses. Picket size outlaws outside the music hall. Bunch of ghetto superstars really down on the music hall. Cause when you got a story real as mine, you can't leave nothing out. Take you back to 6 diamonds and mag 10s, looking through a fresh lens. Everything I knew now, wish I knew back
Dude.
then. Like it was only so much time left. Don't speak, we didn't talk, but he was still alive in the hospital. He reigned that day in Vegas. Rest in power. This is fucking Nas, and we both got one thing in common. We both.
So it seems as if he's discussing his whole story with Pac and how they beefed, how they kind of fixed it, and then him, it looks like, being witness to his death, and that's very heartbreaking. I love how he's just so upfront about storytelling, and he doesn't try to make it seem like he's doing this so subtly, and he doesn't have to make it an overarching thing, and then you're like, oh, well, because of this line and this line. No, he just says, we're going to talk about it. And it's just cool. And this production so far is so tight. I hope that it's like this the entire project, because Nas sounds so good over these kind of beats.
OG talk, project halls, 40 side where niggas seen it all. I can send niggas a slide.
What's up, little baby?
Show 'em the ropes. I get the hood classics, something to open your mind. Instead of going out crashing, you gotta get a rise for your worth. Can't spend all that time on your feelings trying to sympathize with yourself. Don't nobody owe you. Ain't nobody holding you back. Damn, niggas really gotta jump it. They finally gave Nas a Grammy just for me to go. That wasn't the goal. First kick was a warning shot, nigga. We spin it back up the road. Through the barrows, pull up a rose, empty this bitch and reload.
I love when an old school rapper gets on one of these new school beats and just washes the new school rappers, or even if they're not in the song, just shows them what it's actually like to have skill and rap over one of these beats, because, I mean, it just is indicative of the fact that rap is watered down now. Was this a great song on this album? Probably not. I mean, I've only heard 3 and it's my least favorite, but again, it's way better than all of Lil Baby or Lil Durk's songs, because it just sounds like, even though they're on top of this trendy beat, they're still weaving words together. They're still wordsmiths. They still rhyme with the same, aptitude that they do on a boom bap beat, and that's really awesome. I'm glad Lil Baby didn't have a huge part in this song. I would have been a little upset if I had to listen to another Lil Baby verse, so thank you, Nas.
Bucket on low like Eric and Parrish. Closed casket flow, all you niggas get deaded. Fly in your head like Mike Pincers, we in the trenches. I'm mad, better yet, I'm on the rampage. But people can't even get minimum wage. Fuck a stimulus, give me some interest. Give me a loan, give me a home. Dade County got choppers in Haiti. She booked a flight to Colombia, made her body amazing. Just to post it on Tumblr, just to fuck up the summer.
Dude.
I don't care what you coming with me and Hit Boy running shit. She getting scary, blood on my hands like Carrie. Might walk through a cemetery to see where hip hop is buried. I said it was dead, but the fake is death like Machiavelli. You see letters and red splatter, look like sauce with spaghetti.
Yeah, you should call yourself Santa Claus. None of y'all are real, not a single one. Like a dollar bill, it's like your bitch in the pellet cord. She's on a pill. We got a bond and chill. Never bail on me, not even out of jail. EPMD, for me I got some chill. Just a lot of skrill. Laid in my paper so.
Dude, he's bringing it. This man was making classics in '96, and now we're in 2021, and he still sounds just as young, just as great. And the features on the song are incredible. Like, oh my goodness. I'll start with the beat. I love the really awkward over the top twang, twang strings. They make it sound really reminiscent of Renegade off of the Blueprint, and I think that's another reason why Eminem is on this. It's just really sinister in an awkward way, and I think it's really cool when rappers are able to take a sound like that and make it into something a bit cool. And I think Tyler the Creator modernly does this incredibly well, but I think that style originated with guys like Nas, so I'm super interested to see if that sound continues. But man, Nas just went in, and this PMD guy, and it looks like Eric Sermon was on this track too. They went back and forth and traded bars beautifully, and then Eminem comes in with his verse and just wraps it up it was reminding me of Forever, or his verse on Renegade. It's the Eminem flow that has just so much ferocity to it, but it's tamed ferocity. It's not like he's just off the rails like he has been on recent projects. And I think that's what made Eminem such a great MC before. It was like he had this aggression, but he knew how to harness it, and it's super cool to hear that back in style. I'm loving this album, man. Track 5 is going to be rare. Wow. Emphatic beat.
Yo, I'm in red form. Niggas speak down on my name like I wasn't there for 'em. Shoot you from the fade. Musically I'm on Mars. Walking all over the beat, putting my feet on the stars. Too many of your gods, people with nothing. When you get money, you know that it's coming. Saying they homies, but they ain't 100. We the most 100.
Dude!
Sound a millionaire. Levels of Tarantino. It's okay to keep the mystique. I learned that in the street. I'm me, solo with deep. I'm putting on for the G's. We've been doing gangsta shit.
How many beats is on this song?
Look inside my mind, see a gold mine. Brave heart energy, fuck all of the enemies. XO Hennessy is not on me, it's in me. I'm not here to be friendly, they ain't even contending.
That was the best song. Yeah, that was definitely the best song so far. 3 different great beats. To be honest, I would have loved to hear that first beat go for an entire song. I thought that was really awesome. The first beat and the first verse really reminded me of Freddie Gibbs' flow. It almost sounded like Nas was bouncing off the walls. And that's what I think makes Freddie Gibbs such a great MC, is that he has this like spastic flow that he can start and stop whenever he wants. And that's breath control. And that's another thing that makes an MC really great. But then in the second verse and the third one, mind you, it almost sounds like he is plastered to the beat. And again, that's just indicative of somebody that took their time with their words, took their time with the beats, and really broke them down and was like, okay, how can I rhyme over top of this in a way that's exquisite to only this song? That's another thing where I think we've really lost that in hip-hop recently, and it's so refreshing to hear it again from guys like him and such legendary voices at that.
Every time I pop out and pop off, pop off. YKTV got the top off, top off. God, son, they call me son, ain't no son of me. Ran 100 M's, bitch, I'm running things. Paper power, pussy, that shit come in threes. Imagine an AS on Amigo beat. Hip hop culture, Henny on coasters, watching 100-inch screens, see who's sitting with Oprah. My photo, the Jordan logo for this rap shit. Oculus VR, that's how I see shit. I can't let you try to vote if you get C6.
And when I wasn't getting paid, them bitches wasn't on me. And you can tell I got my weight up, just look at the car key. A bunch of Givenchy, I pop up high. I cop the Benny, my top up high. They not really A Boogie, they just knock those high.
This one was alright. Wasn't feeling the beat as much. Again, I think that Nas has a really good opportunity to get on trappy beats. I think this one was just a bit overproduced, to be honest. I think that it really took away from the MC portion of the song, and I think that's why A Boogie fit on it, because he has no presence on the mic. And YG also, I was just so bored during his verse, I don't even think I'm going to include a clip of me reacting to it. This was the first song where I was just like, eh.
Yeah, QBAQ Ravens with Woodside, let's go. My thumb struck a lot of lighters, pulled a lot of all-nighters, banned from some after-hour spots. My crew would choose violence over salads. Text in the dresser, money off tech, pushing the Tesla. Rolled up a fresh one, it's one IPO to the next one. Keep in perspective, we on God's time. The world is yours. What happens when dealers reduce the addicts? What happens when kings don't see their potential status? What's your exit plan? Shifting the culture.
Dude.
Mention me with the jacket and bottom like your poster. I'm standing next to rookies somehow, they looking older. The altitude I'm at is so colder to make your nose run. How you expect to get love if you don't show none? I should send you.
That's tight bar.
Run.
Yeah, man, that was definitely the first song that I felt like could have actually been on Illmatic. The really overutilized soul sample was honestly dope. I thought that it really took over the instrumental to the point where, as blunt and as hard-hitting as they were, you could barely hear the drums in the background. And I think that that forced Nas to have this really commanding presence and this super swaggish kind of flow, and it worked incredibly well. Honestly, this was a great song. It's like he has such confidence on the microphone. He doesn't have to spit any faster than he thinks is right. It's like every time he has a verse in his head, he just lets it come out as is, and it always works.
We used to all put in and go half on bail money. Fuck making it rain, now we making it hell money. Yeah, I never met Muhammad Ali. Wish I did. My brother saw him, Chant told him nothing is real. Accepting my position as the master teacher. I make cash deposits before the first flashy diamonds, that's waterworks. Taking training wheels off the rims, moving in your first crib or having your first kid. Moments you can't relive. Taking training wheels off the rims, moving in your first crib or having your first kid.
This album is so consistent. What the heck? It's 15 songs. How is this man so great? I like the concept of this song, moments you can't relive, and then he goes into little pockets of his life where he talks about people, that were there for moments in his life. He never got to meet them because either they're gone or he's gone or, yada, yada, yada. But he just reminisces on how these people impacted him and how he feels like he has impacted others. and it's a really cool concept. I think he portrays it incredibly well as well. The saxophone is incredible. It's so emphatic. I love the way this song is produced to match the tones and the themes of it, or almost as if Nas wrote his verses to match the tones and the themes of the production. I guess we'll never know. Look, man, this song is the one I've been waiting for, the one everyone's been hitting me up about. Lauryn Hill is on Nobody, track 9.
One city, one country, one state. Some place to be nobody. Houses in Long Island, they always found them. House in the South, a nigga barely got out. Sunny LA, remember calls with Dr. Dre. He told me, don't let the palm trees fool you, nigga, be safe. It's hard to move like a civilian. I write the truth cause I live it, not like you musical niggas. We did it big and they biggest. They rather shoot than write tickets. What it feel like to go get it, what it feel like to go miss it. In one city, one country, one state. Some place to be nobody. Probably.
It's so laid back, dude. So emphatic.
All my time I spent focused on my freedom now. Why would I join them when I know that I can beat them now? They put their words on me and they can eat them now. That's probably why they keep on telling me I'm needed now. I don't need to turn myself into a parody. I don't do the shit you do for popularity. They clearly didn't understand when I said I get out apparently. My awareness like Keanu in the Matrix. I'm saving souls and y'all complain about my lateness. See me in my freedom taking all my land back. They said a lot against me thinking I just stand back. I got my legs beneath me, I got my hands back. A lot of people sabotaged, they couldn't stand that.
Lauryn Hill, oh my goodness. I think it's cool how lyricism is just so preserved by these artists, because if you look at the vocabulary, the way she strings the words together, the ones she uses, and how every line is almost like a sentence, that's really not how rapping is done now. And I think it's cool to see them, you know, preserve this old style, and it's really refreshing to hear that. And it's almost as if her story is like a chapter in a book, or her verses, rather than just a couple lines put together like you would think of most songs being. It wasn't my favorite song, but man, just such a different tone than the rest of the album, and I think that's what makes it really cool. It's like it has its own little pedestal in the middle of all these songs.
All I take is time to show how much I care. Thoughts in the coloring, too many moments when I thought I'd never love again. Scarred like a $150, birdie in above the rim. I used to be her high school crush. She woke up in a fuss and asked me why did I hide a toothbrush. If I was honest, it'd be too much. Quiet storm on the radio, putting me in the zone. She looking at me like you need a queen in your life. You can't be single for life. She tried to read me my rights. I'm hungover from last night. Pour me some Pedialyte. We was just doing so well. How was we in a fight? Bottomless Bellinis, afternoon sun. Girls twerking on the tables, they just having fun. Leave them girls alone, you the owner, what you own. Buckets of Don P, how many you want? That's brunch on Sundays. Bring the hookah to the table, she gon' smoke it till her lungs ache. That's brunch on Sundays. Shorty was an AKA, best friend was a Delta. Bringing up her student loans, I told her that I felt her. Flyest women on the yard, now they work for Delta. New Chanel slides, slip them off like Cinderella.
Two more great songs. I probably like No Phony Love better than Brunch on Sundays, even though both, again, just they're bringing it. I just want to say Hit Boy is really killing the production on this album. The instrumentation has been so beautiful, so subtle, but at times so over the top also, and he's done such a great job of molding each mix, each master, and each implementation of all the little nuts and bolts of the production to fit the tone and to fit the thematic subject matter that is being portrayed on those songs. And it's really cool to hear just seamlessness between a producer and an artist, rather than just here's a beat, rap over it, okay, let's put it out, let's get a hit. Nas is just impressing me so much on this album with his flow patterns, with the way that he's using different words to rhyme together. He's a true wordsmith, man, but he's also a flower.
Turn it up, let the radio blast. This a movie, can't catch it on HBO Max. Couldn't play me even back when we was playing tag. White snow covered the roof of the Navy Jag. Sound of a 4-5 bus, and that's how I'm killing shit. Count me in, count me in, count me in. Sit back and let them expose who they really is. Count me in, count me in, count me in. Ain't worried about none of them, they bleed how I bleed. Suffering from the symptoms of King's disease. Can't let the bright lights go to your head. I watch my day ones go to the feds. The fab, they snatching bags with the double C's. They itching to up and squeeze. Shit is not 100 till a nigga see 100 B's. See ego and greed take over and kill 100 kings. Daily 100 niggas come for me.
Wow, the punch of that song was really weird. Like, I found myself being somewhat what I thought was not entertained at first, but I found myself just drifting off, going into this like weird space where I was listening, but I was thinking about life and reflecting at the same time. I love when a song can do that. These incredibly like electrized and super intricate piano keys that are so like lowly mixed are really cool, and I love how they just add this other dimension to the beat. And then Nas just rhyming about some really personal stuff to him. I didn't fully get the entire like theme of the song, but it sounds like he's so hungry on this album, which for somebody who has as little to prove as Nas does, that's really cool, and it just shows how much he cares about this rap stuff.
Vote yes on Hit Boy, bitch, I'm the city spokesman. They see we got this shit cracking and now they spirit broken. I'm washing my hands with the soap opera shit. Set the cameras to speed, co-directed KD.
Pop went to war around the world, came home, we celebrated A-War. Fast forward to when I started to play ball. From a place where we hate laws, see the jakes and we take off. Hit the gate, I get home and take my chain off. Thankful I got through the day and all the evil I pray. We all make mistakes, only few will recover from them. Don't spend your whole life running from them, run up the numbers. Should've told them I'm raising up on a totem. Yeah, bowling over, pot full of Yola.
There's my name.
Yea, though I walk through the valley of infidels, suckers. First chapter. This chapter called Men. Given knowledge by the psychotic, the black was college. We don't add it up, then that shit'll leave us divided. It's sorta like 10 commandments. I'm talking about men and standards. I'm trying to reverse the damage. You boys obsessed with cameras. Trying to get cool with guys cause you want them to choose sides. Campaigning with the haters, dismissing truth for lies. Definition of a man, don't fall on the stand. For your soul, the exec let you hold in advance. Don't be discouraged, just go with the plan. Praying this doesn't come to a tragic end. Third chapter. This chapter called Women. Y'all been the rib since the beginning. Your smile lift me up and your eyes kiss my soul. Your sweetness is honeycomb, such a lovely tone. You hold the power to make a house a home. Because of you, I wanna right my wrong. Kiss your mother, cause we only get one.
I'm really just running out of things to say at this point. First of all, the trumpets on Composure was incredible. Hit Boy's verse was incredible. That's all I can say about that song. My Bible loved the concept of this track, how he's talking about his moral compass, his reference point in terms of how he thinks people should live, what's important to them, yada, yada, yada. And it's super cool because this is just straight up perspective. And again, like I said before, that's what I love about hip-hop. Last song, Nas is good. What an album.
Escobar season begins. Touch up the game like a photo edit. Camera roll like Oscar Michaud, they got a roll of credits. I swam in the Red Sea, took a boat on the Nile. It's in my blood to drive these cars and live as laws. Escobar cigars, avoiding the prison bars. Nas. I deserve the threads in my closet. Big boy deposits, Nike shares and stock tips. But not surviving my hood. Pull up with all of my jewels on and Nas is good. Nas is good. My nigga Nas is good. King's disease.
15 songs, maybe one skip, and all the other songs are so good. Dude, Nas, this makes me really excited to go listen to the rest of your discography, man. If you still got it like this, oh. The biggest thing that just stuck out to me throughout this entire project was the wordsmithery and just, you know, how important lyricism is to him. I think the beats, in terms of how they evolved through the song structure, were pretty primitive, and I thought that they were really good beats, but again, it didn't feel like they were crafted to have the entire song be artistic. All of the artistry comes from the little nuts and bolts of that beat and then the way that Nas rhymes over them. And that's just what makes him such a special MC, because he can entertain you for 51 minutes with beats and bars. I want to say more But to be honest, what I want to do a lot more than talk about this album is go listen to it, so I'm going to close off the video now. Guys, I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe and give me the opportunity to listen to more Nas albums, because these videos, the ones that do well, I'm going to keep capitalizing on those, and ultimately I decide that by seeing who subscribes, who likes the video, who comments. So if you guys want to see more Nas, then hey, that's the best way to do it. But enough shameless call to action. My favorites on this project are going to be, let's go with Composure, Moments, Rare, The Pressure, and EPMD 2. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Nas forever, man. What an incredible artist. Subscribe, like, comment. Let me know what I should react to in the comments. And hey, support me as best as you can, because you'll get more of me that way. Thanks for joining me. I sincerely hope you'll join me next time. Happy listening.